What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to pass the gaming here, and I'm going to show off my setup, show my workflow, show how I do things, and overall just give a overall tour of my room, my desk, and things like that. So before I get into that, I have to go into my PC, take off the side panels, and do a little bit of cabling in there and fix up some of the cable management, and then I will come back and I will do a full setup reveal, and also I will talk about the best tips to have the best setup you can have. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, and we're back in. I'm gonna be careful not to show my whole setup. I'll save that for a little bit later. But I did finish in the PC, did some little bit of cable management in there. There's still that cable right there. That's gonna have to stay there. I can't really fix that right now. That's the only thing that's kind of bothering me, but it's gonna have to do for now. All right, power supply's on. And we're booted. All right, I'm gonna get set up. I'm gonna show off the rest of my setup here in a second. Stay tuned, be right back. Actually, before I do that, I've been wanting to take this plastic off right here for the longest time. So satisfying. All right, let's go to the B-roll.
You are watching a master at work.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to my setup tour 2020, fall of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed those little B-roll shots of my whole setup. I built everything in this setup from the ground up. It took a few days. It was well worth it, as you can probably see. I'm really excited to have this setup. It's my dream setup. It's more than anything I could ever ask for. I wanted to do a different type of video today, change of pace from the gaming, and do a little bit of a sit-down video today and show you guys some of the best tips that I followed when it comes to building the best setup you can possibly have. I'm gonna go over everything in the background. I'm gonna tell you guys how I did it. I'm gonna tell you guys and show you guys some of the tips that I followed when it comes to building a clean setup. To start it off, number one, I think is the most important aspect when it comes to building a clean setup, and that's cable management. Now, cable management can either take your setup and take it to a 1 if it's really bad, or take it to a 10 if it's really good, obviously. As you can see here with this setup behind me, I wanted to make sure that cable management was on point, and especially with moving into a new room, moving into a new house, that was the perfect opportunity I had to make the cable management as best as it possibly can be. To do this, I had to route the cables through the wall to give my monitors, my TV, that floating look. And obviously you don't have to do this. This is something that takes a little bit more work, takes a little bit more patience, but there is alternatives. For example, you can obviously just get a desk dual monitor mount or just a desk mount if you just have one monitor, and you can clamp it to the desk and it'll still give it that clean look if you wire the cable on the back of that arm of that mount. It'll still give you a clean look where you don't have clutter on your desk, you don't have that monitor on your desk, you have it sort of floating. Now, how I did my cable management, obviously like I said before, I had to drill the holes in the wall and then route each and every single cable through the wall to give everything that clean, nice floating look. Now, to add to that clean look is obviously going to be mounting your displays, whether it's your monitors, your TVs, any display you have. It is really important that you mount it. Now, obviously you don't have to mount it, but if you want that clean floating look, That's the best way you're going to achieve it, and honestly, I recommend it in the long run. Yes, it is a little bit more work, but it is going to look the cleanest, I promise you. Not only does mounting look cleaner, it obviously takes the clutter off of your desk and makes it to where your desk is nice and neat and clean. For example, on my desk, I just have obviously the keyboard and the mouse and obviously the PC, but I'll get to that later. How I did my cable management was obviously through the wall, but you may be wondering, how do you have no cables showing behind you under the desk? That's simple. I went to my nearest hardware store, whether it's Home Depot, Lowe's, anything like that. And then I went to, obviously, where you can get the lumber. I went to the plywood. I got a simple, nice, thin sheet of plywood. I had them cut it up to the right dimensions. And then I painted it to match the color of my wall behind me. So it almost gave it this, like, there was nothing there look. It was just the wall behind me, not a piece of plywood. And then after that, I took my surge protector, and then I used like 3M double-sided tape, with whatever double-sided tape you can find, adhesive, double-sided tape, anything. And then I mounted my surge protector to the back of that plywood, along with other things like my internet switch and RGB lights, stuff like that. Anything, power bricks, literally anything, you can literally mount to the back of that, and you will not see any of it because that plywood is covering it. That's what gives it that ultimate clean look of no cables, which honestly can elevate your setup to 100. I'm going to keep reiterating that because cable management is single-handedly, I think, the most important thing when it comes to a setup. Obviously, there's other ways you can do it. You don't have to have the plywood. IKEA has those, like, it's like the Signum thing that goes under your desk, and you can just shove all the cables in that, so it just takes the cables up off the floor. Because honestly, having cables on the floor can just de-escalate your setup down to like a 1, and you don't want that. Obviously, if you just have a desk too and you don't want to do maybe that Signum mount from IKEA or the plywood, you can simply just get 3M double-sided adhesive tape, and you can literally stick your surge protectors and your power bricks and stuff like that to the bottom of your desk, so at least it lifts that stuff off the ground and you can have that clean, nice, no cable look. Moving on to the second tip that I think is the most important when it comes to building a clean setup is building around a theme. As you can see behind me, I have a white and like blue theme, which really adds a nice element to a clean looking setup. I have the nice ice blue RGB lights behind me, and then obviously my wallpaper being a little bit white with the snow falling, and then my PC being all white, along with my peripherals being all white. It adds this nice winter icy cool theme. It really elevates your setup a lot. I also like the nice contrast that the lighter colors provide with my dark desk. I actually had to get a piece of butcher block from Home Depot, and then I stained it myself, which I did multiple coats on because I wanted the desk to be as dark as possible without being black, of course. I wanted it to just be like a dark, nice grainy wood look, which really adds to a nice contrast of a desk setup. Of course, with just the white theme that I have going on here. And you can literally build around any theme you want to. You can either be a certain color, a certain theme, whether it be like Marvel or Star Wars or anything like that. Any theme you can think of, build around it, it'll elevate your setup that much further. And the third tip today I have for you guys is just overall organization and cleanliness, honestly. Having a nice, neat, organized desk will just add to that level of cleanliness. It'll make everything look that much better. When you have a nice, clean, organized setup that's built around a theme, people are going to come in here, people are going to see your setup, they're going to want to copy elements, they're going to want to see everything, they're going to want to go home and build a setup of their own, to build exactly like yours. How do I know this? I did it myself. That's how I got all this stuff, that's how I got all these ideas. Watch videos, get ideas from everybody else, come up with your own ideas that maybe coincide with other people's ideas as well, mix together. That's how you get to a setup like this. And I'm not saying that my setup is the best either, it's not, but it's built just the way I want it to. It's my dream setup. It's better than, like I said, anything I could ever ask for. Just another little side note too is the monitors, if you can get curved monitors, these are my first set of curved monitors, and honestly, they are better than I ever even thought. I wasn't sure if curved was all that good or if the craze was really all that good, but trust me, it's worth it. It provides this immersive experience of the monitors kind of going around you, and it feels so nice and it looks so good. I highly recommend it. The next thing I wanted to go over was my overall rig, my PC build. I'm gonna go over the parts in there, tell you guys what I have in there, and then hopefully you guys can maybe get some ideas and maybe you can apply them to your own PC build if you're looking to build a PC or anything like that. So the first thing, obviously, I'm gonna go over the case. That is the Cooler Master TD500 Mesh White. The motherboard is a MSI MPG B550 gaming motherboard. My CPU is the AMD Ryzen 5 3600 XT. My graphics card is the MSI GeForce RTX 2060. My RAM is the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 16GB DDR4 rated at 3600 MHz. My CPU fan is the Cooler Master Hyper 212 RGB Black Edition. My power supply is the Corsair RM750X 80 Plus Gold certified power supply unit, along with a external Cooler Master case fan that just goes in the back just for extra cooling and good thermals. My monitors here in the back, I'm pretty sure I'll throw them up in the description, but I'm pretty sure just off the top of my head they are the MSI Mag 270CR, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously then my TV is just a standard Samsung 43-inch TV. But those are just some of the equipment that I have along with my peripherals. My keyboard is the Razer Black Widow X Chroma, along with the mouse, which is a Glorious Model D, and then a Glorious mouse pad as well. Then obviously my drawers are the typical IKEA Alex drawer units. You see those in a lot of setups. They're just, honestly, they're the best option that I think right now. And they're not that expensive, and they just look, overall, they just look pretty good. Alright, just to recap for today, those 3 tips were cable management, building around a theme, and organization and overall cleanliness. I believe if you follow these 3 steps, you can build the best, most clean looking desk setup you can possibly have. Obviously, you can tailor what you have and what you have access to what your needs are, but I think those 3 basic sort of generic steps will really help elevate your setup to 100. Alright, that's about it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow those 3 steps. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back for more content very soon. See you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.